Well, go summon. Wake the dead ones. Wake the dead ones. I said, go summon up the dead ones. From essential souls. Go summon up the dead ones. Chanting the rites of Yog-Sothoth. Go summon up the dead ones. From essential souls. Yes, go summon up the dead ones. From the pits of Agnostic. Go summon up the dead ones. But don't let it go awry. Said to go. Don't let it go awry. Oh, children, let my story begin. We spend our solstice with kin, but throughout these cold and icy nights, just beware of family fights if you want to study ancient lore. In your family's home from days of yore, you might think you'll learn the truth you crave from your ancestors beyond the grave. Go summon up the dead ones, chanting the rites of Yog-Sothoth. Go summon up the dead ones from essential souls. Yes, go summon up the dead ones from the pits of Agnostic. Go summon up the dead ones, but don't let it go awry. Let some old progenitor creep through an unearthly door, and this old forefather once revived. He might just want to stay alive, so before you summon anyone, go and get yourself a loaded gun. Keep your candles burning all around, and be sure that you can put him down.
That's if you go summon up the
Summon up the dead ones.
chanting the rites of Yog-Sothoth.
Summon up the dead ones from essential souls. Go summon up the dead ones from the pits of Agnostic. Go summon up the dead ones, but don't let it go awry. No, don't let it go awry, or you'll die.
Oh, Lord have mercy, chillin'. It is that time again for the Church of the Hopeful Agnostic podcast. And if you heard last episode, well, there was a cliffhanger as I told my tale of woe, my goofy-ass story about how I was on the run to Doug Stanhope. We agreed to make that a swapcast. It's a term he came up with. And where if we, one of us is on each, where he has somebody on the show, and if they have a podcast, then we each in turn release it as our own podcast, thus a swapcast. And decided to split this one in half. And this will be the second half. We left off where my second encounter with an Arkansas police officer. Actually, it's not third. I'd forgotten about another one, the very first one. I got a little odd job while I was living in the wigwam, hauling some debris away to try us away from a guy who later became one of my best friends. A guy who just acquired some land nearby. Needed this stuff hauled away, and as I'm hauling it away to the dump, leaving the dump, a state trooper is pulling me over. And so I've got everything rehearsed. I start going through everything through my head. How many, we just moved here, sir. I lost my wallet, blah, 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 blah. Yes, I understand. And our tags were out, everything. Texas has a state inspection. Arkansas doesn't. That's the only way we were, in the clear, because our state inspection was also out. Officer walks up to the back of my truck, coils up the tie rope, which I had left dangling, ties it up neatly, places it in the back, and salutes me. That was it. Didn't even ask to. Texas, that would warrant a body cavity search. I guarantee you. So yeah, that was my. So this last episode we left with my second encounter with a police officer. Yeah, we'll get right at that in a minute. We started off with you hearing the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society with "Go Summon Up the Dead Ones," because yes, indeed, it is that time of year. It is that fucking time of year, Christmas, which, oh God, it's one of those things that I honestly, if I didn't celebrate it, if I didn't get a present, didn't have to give a present, didn't have to see a Christmas tree, didn't have to see somebody who thinks they're fucking cute because they're wearing a goddamn Santa hat or elf ears, or even more so, the reindeer antlers. In fact, continue to wear the reindeer antlers, and please go wear them out in the woods on opening deer season weekend. Please wear those then. Do us all a favor. And those of you who put them on your Suburban, Jesus Christ. And with the crafty husband who cuts them out of plywood and stains them himself with some Homer Formby wood stain, puts them up on the SUV, the family SUV, to be cute with their fucking antlers. No, if you guessed, I'm not really a fan of Christmas. I could take it or leave it. I could leave it. I could leave it. I could leave it in a hole full of burning garbage and never see it again, and really wouldn't miss it. There's some good food, but all year around should be time for good food. Good food. And then have a rare and appropriate where you stuff yourself like a goddamn turkey that you're pigging out on. But just this, I'm the only one in my family that, shares my religious, sort of, not religious, whatever views, anti-religious views. And, we got to deal with that part of it. And then it's just this scramble. I don't have the money to buy everybody gifts. And here my sisters keep breeding like sows, and their kids breeding like sows. And every year it's another kid, another kid, another kid, another kid. Oh, now, your great-grand-nephew needs, be sure he wants an Xbox. What, motherfucker, I don't even have enough for my own kid. And then on top of that, you have the office party where we're all buying. We need $20 from everyone so we can buy a nice big fat gift card for Miss Frumpy ass, regional manager that you never see, who never speaks a word to you. But I have to spend money that I don't have, to spend on my own family, on this person who only knows me as one of those maintenance guys or whatever, one of the staff members. You have to buy a gift for them, and then you have to buy that office Christmas party, the Secret Santa shit, where you draw a name and then you get the name of the person you wouldn't trust in the same room with you wouldn't trust to walk your dog. And now you got to buy them a damn. Now we're asking that we all purchase gifts between $20 and $50. That's a couple of weeks worth of gin for me. No, it's not my holiday. Nobody goes out of the way to buy me pumpkins for Halloween. Nobody supplies me with big bags of candy for the trick-or-treaters on Halloween. Now, do they? Just that obligations, that familial obligation you have, to this holly jolly fucking pain in my ass is what it is. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, and let's. Okay, so yeah, we heard about the most Christmas music. There is this. Speaking of Christmas and not liking Netflix. My only Christmas movie I really care for is The Bad Santa. Pretty obvious. I have not seen Bad Santa 2 yet. I just, if it's Billy Bob Thornton, I'm sure it'll be fucking hilarious. Did just recently watch. Well, I'm in the process of Netflix. I'm an old fart, so nowadays a movie is more like one of them old serials. 15 minutes. You see it in 15-minute intervals before until I fall asleep. I just get 15-minute bursts and have to go back and see it. But a Christmas horror story, I believe it is. Kind of cool. It's got a badass Santa Claus in there fighting some zombie elves. Don't mean to spoil it for you, but yeah, check it out. It's kind of like a Christmas creep show. It's not individual stories. All the stories are sort of happening at once and all intertwined. But looking forward to watching Krampus this year. Did not watch it last year, but looking forward to watching it. And of course, watching, once again, The Bad Santa. Always check that one out. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get on with the second half of the Swapcast with Doug Stanhope. And we, as we say, we left off where I encountered a second police officer. And the tale of a fucking hippie that is the only person. If I ever had a hit list, he's the only person that would be on it. So yeah, here we go. Stick around. We'll have a little bit more stuff and discussion afterwards. So you're listening to the Church of the Hopeful Agnostic podcast. Go to the Facebook page, like it, and don't go anywhere. Go pour yourself a whole pause this, pour yourself holy water, some extra lime, come back, and then listen to the rest of this. Doug Stanhope, Swapcast with Doug Stanhope. You know what the fuck I mean. God damn it, just fucking go, listen. Don't go, stay, listen. Fuck. So I get this gig table hopping at this restaurant, living in a wigwam. I've got
table
suits.
hopping. Is that bussing?
That's no going to doing magic, table, you know,
all right,
up close,
got it.
Yeah, close up magic. So and now before I decide to do the, you know, I don't perform as myself usually doing magic. I'll do a character. That's the Renfest. So now I'm thinking, what kind of character I could do? I'll be British. So now I'm this guy's borrowed credentials.
Oh
I'm
wait,
Jewish.
hang on. You're doing table magic in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And you go, how can I make this even more annoying? British accent.
Exactly.
I will be the most annoying person. Could I spit in your lunch as well for the hat trick?
And my British accent is all learned from Monty Python skits. But I'm pulling it off
Give
with
him
the
a
locals.
fucking book, because he's obviously not read my book. There's too many fucking parallels.
Oh, I
here.
bought one. You signed it.
Well, read it, because there's a lot of parallels in this.
So I start doing this British magic act there. The chef was on the whole time. He knew it the whole time. I thought I was fooling everybody. So now, to some people, I'm this Jewish hillbilly hippie. Other people,
British,
I'm, you know,
British
if
Jewish.
If a cop pulls me over, I'm my friend Brian. If you know, and if I'm in the restaurant, I'm this British guy named Nigel Bamberg with a suit that would rival anything you have, and those fucking tweed. I found it in a thrift shop with those tweed hats from the Monty Python that has no bill that just gets down, and you know. So I'm coming and doing this act. And now one night I was working with one of these other people who had bought the land, letting us stay there, built a wigwam on, working in Fayetteville, doing some paint work. Assholes driving back through Elkins, which is, in the year 2000, was a book of top 10 lists, and it was the number 2 worst speed trap in the country. The speed limit would go 55, 25, 35, 45, 25. No. And they were just waiting behind those signs. And of course, in my situation, driving through Elkins, it was don't breathe, asshole pinched for the next 2 miles. And then finally, okay, good.
I'm 25 years on the road. I still feel like that.
Oh, sure.
Chaley and I, this tour between Amarillo and Oklahoma City, there was cops. Like,
oh, yeah.
There's nothing on the Rand McNally Truckers Road Atlas. There's not a town listed between Amarillo and Sayre, Oklahoma, which is like 90 miles. And we saw 6 different cops pulling people's shit out. They're tearing people's vehicles, having them fucking on the car or handcuffed. I'm still fucking terrified.
Oh yeah, no. In Oklahoma, one time I got pulled over in 2-tone purple bell bottoms, you know, trying to explain to the cop, I don't smoke marijuana, sir, with copies of High Times in the back end. And as he searched the car, I forgot my iguana was in there, and I guess thought it was plastic, picked it up, and it slapped the fuck out of him across the tail. He came out with it looked like he got hit by a whip. He's like, is that poisonous? Like, oh yes, it can be. It didn't bite you, did it? And,
Iguana lives matter. That's right. Today he just opened fire.
I was afraid he was going to shoot it. Yeah, but
well, the funny thing is, it wasn't until like the last 5-6 years I started wearing purple fucking bell bottoms.
Oh yeah, no, I only wear it if it's out of style. You know, like this bubble.
Yeah, you were in character then. Now I'm just just trying to remind myself that I'm a comedian by wearing stupid shit, so I don't take myself too seriously.
So this town Elkins, we're driving through there, and the asshole's speeding. I'm like, dude, slow down. You know my situation. Fucking slow. Oh no, man! If you go under the speed limit, they think you're hiding something. Go over the speed limit, they think you're cool. You ain't worried.
We passed by a state trooper. I'm like, motherfucker, slow down. Well, maybe we can get on up here and he'll get enough cars between us. He'll give up. I'm like, it's Elkins. At 9 o'clock, he has nothing to do. So the lights are on and the guy keeps going and he's trying to speed up and I'm about to punch the fucker. Finally pulls over, a couple of miles out of town. I mean, it was almost a chase. And I'm like, that's it. I'm going down. Okay, I'm going to run and let him shoot me in the back because I'm not going to jail, I've got all my shit.
Hang on. Just for how many years has it been, or months or whatever?
This has been maybe a year.
How long have you been on the lam?
About a year.
Okay.
So now he pulls us over, questions him. The cop's pissed. And he's, I didn't see you, sir. He just plays stupid.
He is stupid.
Yeah, he was stupid. Yeah, he wasn't playing. It was method acting. So then he asked me, "You have any ID, sir?" I've just come here. I'm trying to get work here. Well, I gave him the whole rundown. Spouted everything.
Wait,
off.
are you doing this in the British accent in the outfit?
Yeah.
I've just come off the boat, my love.
And sounding a bit Jewish. Yeah, sounding scared and Jewish. Yeah, too.
I've just come off the boat, Shmushka.
Shloimi. So he asked me to step out of the car. I give him the credentials, and he goes back. And I know he's just playing because this guy's credentials are good. He comes back. They don't know who you are. Nothing came up. Well, I don't know what to tell you, sir. You want my social security number? I got that too. Well, it's not necessary. So explains to me, look, I don't want to arrest you. I have no interest in arresting you. I want to go home, but I don't know if you're hiding a wallet on me. So and he was so nice about this. Here's what I'm going to do. I want you to put your hands behind you. Oh, by the way, before he went to the car, I remembered, there's a one-hitter pipe I have on me. That should go away. I just got it out of my pocket about the time he walked up, and the whole time I've got it finger palmed like a cigarette. It's a magic
Table
move.
Magic?
Yes.
Yep.
I've got the thing palmed and
put it in your fake thumb.
Right. Hoping I can get rid of it. And he explains he's going to go through my pockets, and it's like, something told me to get that fucking thing out. I don't believe in premonitions and that shit, but that day I did, and I was thanking God.
I did that bit about that tonight.
Right, yeah, I was not an atheist that night. So he explains he's going to gently hold my hands behind my back as he feels to make sure I'm not hiding a wallet or a weapon. And he starts to pat me down, and now I've got a motorcycle jacket that the lining is torn out, and I have no idea what's fucking fallen inside the back. And he reaches in like, what's this? I'm like, I don't know. And he pulls out, there's some rope. Well, some of my magic shit's in there. So he starts to pull the rope, and he pulls the rope, and he pulls the rope, and he pulls the rope, and finally pulls it out with a big pair of boxer shorts on the end. And
then a dove flies out, and he says, "Ta-da!"
And he starts to just pull shit out of my pocket. So shit's falling in the liner. He pulls out a copy of Hustler. There is laying up there. Because I had to hide the Hustler from my ex-wife, so it's hidden in the liner
at
of
the
my
end of
leather
this,
jacket.
remind me of the Hustler story. I don't want to interrupt him, but go ahead.
And by now he's pulled out a miniature rubber chicken, a whoopee cushion, a severed fake finger, a waterfall deck of cards that's stringing everywhere, another miniature deck of cards that falls out. Now he's trying to hold my fingers together.
He's doing magic for himself. He's like, I don't get it. How did you do that? How did I do that?
The feather flowers was the next thing. They just weren't in there that night, unfortunately. So now the cards are blowing. He's trying to hold my fingers and my hands together while he's picking up miniature cards. I'm going, fuck, don't find the pipe, because I dropped the pipe at that point. And now I'm sweating because he's going to come across the pipe. He manages to get all the cards, and I'm just like, oh, it's okay. Those are good. Those are disposable. I don't need them. Gets everything together, piles it all up, looks at it a minute, said, all right, get your shit together, get your ID. I don't want to see you again. And, take your shit home, bozo. And, yeah, that was fun. That got me out of, and I had a few other times of hiding, in the woods.
How long did you spend on the road?
I spent 2 years in that
on the
wigwam.
lam, I should say.
9. It was finally 9.
And so this is year 1. What was
right?
What were the other?
Well, the other years here, I'm trying to fly under the radar.
To do 1 + 9, 8. How many? What'd you do with the other 8 years? Sorry, I had to do math.
Well, after it turned out one of the other people on the land had confessed that he was a child molester also. Well, I don't want to live out the fuck out here. That was the guy who almost got me arrested that night by driving
I don't want to
too fast.
rat you out.
Yeah, right.
But I want to rat you out. Like, you're the worst person.
Oh, yeah, no,
but
try to do
if I
that.
rat you out, you're going to rat me out.
Exactly. So that's immediately what he's going to do. The
I-
minute he confessed to me and I didn't give him a hug, he's going to rat me out. I got to get the fuck
I-
out. So a dear friend who
I'll just drop this in. I had a...
Oh, no, I've smeared his name all over the fucking place.
No, I had a similar situation on a very small level where I broke down in the middle of nowhere and someone picked me up and they were immediately the most racist person in the world.
Oh, yeah.
And you go, okay, I'm in Roswell, New Mexico, 30 miles outside of Roswell. I need to get to the gig and I'm hitchhiking and you pick me up and then you're being fucking homophobic or racist. And why are you wearing an earring? Are you a faggot? You know what?
No, it means I killed a guy in prison, right?
And then this nigger, racist faggot. And I'm like,
Right.
all right, you threw me a fucking lifeline to get me to this gig. I made the gig. I shut my mouth.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was something he had done before. If there was anybody, but I made sure people were watching his ass, and they do. He doesn't leave the mountain anymore. He can't.
Like Holy Hell, the
Exactly.
documentary I keep plugging.
Exactly.
Yeah, that guy's still out there, still got followers. He's in Hawaii.
So,
Find him, ruin his life.
So, yeah, I had one other. As I'm trying to fly under the radar, here I am with a magic act, and almost got to. I had an opportunity to sue the fuck out of a state representative who caused my head to catch on fire. And as I was doing dinner theater,
He calls to
he caused my head to catch on fire by messed with my props. Drunk senator, a drunk state representative, who would come in with a country club as I'm doing my magic act.
Yeah.
We did a dinner theater one night. $20, you come in, you get dinner theater, blah blah blah. Nobody sits back here. This is you're able to see secret operations. Drunk fucks come in because this is a state rep.
Wait,
They're
you
gonna
mean
let him
magic
in.
is a trick?
Yeah. I didn't want you to see the demon back there.
You're
making it
no
happen,
sorcerer after all. My friend found out.
So I'm trying to do my act. They let these fucking drunk country club people in who are like, he's hiding behind it. They're exposing everything I'm doing. In between sets, I'd done 2 shows a night for the last 3 weeks. In between sets, if they fucked up the first show, my fire eating act, eating fire is you put torches out in your mouth. It's not a torch. It's not a trick. It's a skill. Drinking a ladle full of flaming liquid is a trick. He's up there bumbling around drunk, walking on the stage, bumps into my bucket. So when I go to do that trick, this is the opener. I pour a ladle full of flaming lighter fluid in my mouth and spit it out immediately all over my suit. My suit goes up. I put that out. My face goes up. I put that out, back and
And
forth.
obviously, it's some kind of polyester nylon. It's
Yeah.
It's a magician.
Yes,
so
it's melting.
It's napalm
bubbling
now. It's
It's
napalm.
bubbling, as is my face. And
If you've ever seen the crying Vietnamese girl, the
that was me
famous
3
photo,
weeks later.
That,
Yeah, that's right, 3
that
days
was
later.
him going ta-da.
So yeah. Oh, I knocked him dead. The country club people shut the fuck up.
That's why your
real
gal
fast.
pal is hating our cigarette smoke. It reminds her of your burning flesh Holocaust smell of that night.
So
Go
I
ahead.
didn't get to sue him because I was on the lam. So
Yeah.
fuck that. So that's another bullshit about the war on drugs. I could have sued the fuck out of a state rep for catching me on fire, and I couldn't. I was flying
You
under the
wouldn't have
radar.
won though. It's
Probably
the same
not.
way. Yeah,
But I could have fucked up his
it's
campaign,
like
maybe.
Unarmed black man doesn't win.
Right.
Hey, yeah.
So yeah, after that, I've got to get off of this land. Bad storm's coming. Another dude I met said, "Hey, y'all got to. Why don't y'all come and stay in town? In some actual warmth." So here I had a wigwam that had a wood burning stove, gravity feed spring water, all of that. Go and stay in town in an all electric house. And then the worst fucking storm ever hits, and everything's covered with ice. And I would have been doing better in the wigwam because now everything's shut off. We're on the highest hill in Fayetteville. Nobody can get there to us. Yeah, toppest.
No, you're talking like the locals now.
Right.
You know how to fit
I
in
was-
now
I
by
was at
saying
the
the
topmost.
toppest hill.
Against. Yeah, So stay up there a little while, and my ex gets some work in town. I'm trying to still fly under the radar and still trying to blend in, get a gig at a local magic shop. I was a successful fart machine salesman for a while. You know,
I was gonna say,
I can say
what'd you
that
say,
is
a magic
how
shop
many
here?
people.
Okay, I get it,
how many
yeah.
people can say that
Whoopee
they
cushions
were
are your
successful?
bag.
Yes, I hard
What's
sold
holding
those.
you back from the whoopee cushion, ma'am? I get commission on this.
Oh,
What?
this was the new thing. This is when the electronic fart machines first came out. This was the hot number,
gotcha.
man. Yeah, I made a lot of commission off of that. So worked for that guy for a little while. But then when it came time to make a paycheck, you know, I'm like, can you just pay me like a contractor, like I'm a magician? You know, just pay
Under
me in
the
cash.
table.
Oh, no, he wouldn't do that. Wouldn't do that. Could not get his accountant to do that. So I finally just made a deal with him one day. He's look, I'm going to take some props in exchange because you shouldn't have hired me if you wasn't going to do that. You said that'd be cool. So, yeah, I went on with that. And then my ex and I find some land out in the middle of nowhere again in Booger County, Madison County. Booger is the old word for ghost, hillbilly word for ghost. It's the old haunted county.
Gotcha.
And now I'm out there for about another 7 or so years. Just biding my time, looking over my shoulder, worried the fuck that, an escape.
Farming the tomatoes.
And that's what I did. I started doing farmers markets, Well, no, I worked for Shine, Moonshine quite often. There was locals down the road that I could go and do some work for an old couple and get a quart of Shine and a chicken. And, it was great. It was fucking great. Work for tomatoes, and work for some smoke, that sort of thing. And my ex got a gig at the Access TV station. So still trying to fly under the radar under what? We're up to 4 or 5 names now. Then I become Jebediah Buzzard, the first, Arkansas's
Great.
first.
No one would ever be suspicious,
especially with the
about
green
Jebediah
zombie makeup
Buzzard.
on, So I
Wait,
start doing
hang
it.
on. You started with a fucking plastic sword in a Ren Fest, and now you're wearing alien makeup.
No, zombie, a dead carnival barker.
The point is, yeah, that's how you fly on the lamb.
Yeah, and then get in a movie with Billy Bob Thornton. Yeah.
It's actually kind of a good idea. You just put on some Spock ears
Yeah.
and a fucking pig nose from the...
Ever recognize
Yeah.
blend right in.
So yeah, once I get out there, I start doing a horror host show that I just I produce from there, and my ex would, yeah,
Like Svengoolie.
Fun. May I plug that?
Yeah.
It's not on anymore,
Plug
but
anything
yeah,
you want.
look up Fright Time Funhouse or Jebediah Buzzard. Google it, you'll find some shit.
You don't even know his background with
with the horror
haunted
stuff,
houses?
absolutely. Oh no, I'm totally a horror. No, I've worked a lot of haunts. Yeah,
We'll
totally
talk
into that
after
shit.
we're
Yeah.
done. I don't know.
But,
I don't know what chapter you're on.
Yeah. So we're getting towards the end. Yeah. So I'm out there, Kingston, just biding my time with some hillbilly tree surfing. That's a sport I made up. When the creek gets so flooded that trees are washing down it, because at this point, my kind of an ex-wife is it's wearing on me. I would have divorced her the second year into the marriage, but we sort of ended up stuck together on the lam.
Well, if you divorce her, she's gonna talk.
And that's and there was so many. The insanity that you have to deal with is endearing. This, no, yeah.
We
This-
saw
this was
Casino with
fuck-
Robert De Niro.
This is fuck. Yeah,
Sharon
this is getting
Stone's
there.
on
This
tilt,
is-
but I gotta shut her up.
Oh, this is getting there. Yeah. And it's just starting to wear on me. Wearing on me like, fuck, I can't have a driver's license. I don't have a driver's license. I can't know that. I thought I could get one maybe as soon as I got here, but I was like, fuck, are they gonna? Yeah, chickened out. Thought I could get one.
By now, the internet's kicking
right.
in too.
Then it wasn't. I could have just got a driver's license. Everything had been cool.
You're going from like the late 90s to
And
mid
still-
2000s, and oh shit.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows everything.
And now they were still hardcore looking for me in Texas. They still kept calling my parents for this little bit of weed because the sheriff there had made this massive compound of a jail that he had to fill.
He's the Sheriff Joe Arpaio
Exactly.
of his time. Yeah.
Bringing in prisoners from state prisons.
He doesn't like
violent
a bad
offenders
beat.
because he gets that kickback from the state if they house them. My brother-in-law was a prison guard. Told me how it works. They bring him in overnight. They sit there in a gym overnight. As long as that prison number passes through the doors, spends a certain amount of time, they get paid $100 and something bucks a day per head. So that's what Weldon Lucas, sheriff there, was doing with state prisoners from, Illinois. There's fucking Chicago gangbangers in there with the passive hippies who they love to arrest because parents pay a lot of money and they'll go send them out on the work farm. And it was just fill beds,
Yeah.
you know, with the people whose parents will keep paying money. It might as well have been Mexico, getting arrested in a Mexican jail.
Yeah, private prison.
And so they really were looking for that little bit of weed. So many people I know left Denton County for that. People left the country. I mean, people like just sitting in a living room. This guy has a warrant or has a bounty hunter after him because he didn't pay his bail. Door gets busted in, and everybody in there got arrested for a sheet of acid in the freezer. And no, everybody's going. So many people left, and the warrants got so clogged up in the system that after a while, and I kept looking for that lawyer with a flaming sword of justice. And I would talk to someone like, "This is bullshit. Yeah, we can get this cleared up." You know, I find one here in town who's certified for Texas too. And they'd make some calls, and he'd call back and go, "Man, yeah, you need to just lay low, or turn yourself in." And they were serious. So
That's scary.
finally, that whole administration got an enema. I mean, my probation officer, the sheriff, the DA, and they just wanted to get rid of these warrants. So my folks had a good lawyer who was just folks had a good lawyer, and apparently he was like, "Okay, I know the DA. You know, I'm going to make a deal." And I wouldn't sign it. I wouldn't agree to nothing. They called me up one day and said, "Look, this guy will get you out." And I'm like, "I trust him as far as I can bounce him off a pile of dog shit, you know, especially before." I said, "No, this guy is certain." I was like, I want a letter.
I actually took a moment in my drunkenness. Wait. No, it wouldn't bounce off dog shit.
Exactly.
It took me a second. Do you trust him or not? I loved the analogy, but I'm like, wait, dog shit. What is it? Firm dog shit. So yeah, that was my look of confusion. Go ahead. You don't trust the lawyer. Go ahead.
Right. So I said, if I get a letter signed from the DA, okay. I got a letter signed from the DA. I'm like, all right, I'll go back to Texas. And this has been, 9 years.
Yeah.
And I did go back scared shitless. My dad drove all the way down to drive and rode me back, and I was ready to hide in the fucking floorboard, but he's fucking, Arlie Ermy and, Hank Hill, so he's fine.
For the listeners that don't get the reference, Arlie Ermy is someone you'll fucking Google search because you're a piece of shit for not knowing the reference. I'm not explaining. Go ahead.
So I did go back.
Go ahead, Private Pile.
And by that time, my sainted grandmother had gone into total dementia, so that was the part that hurt the worst, seeing like
So
nieces
now
and nephews.
she's like 90.
Well, she passed away last year. But
Jesus. So she was 106.
Oh, my great grandparents, they were around when I was, in my first marriage. I mean, they were, 98, 99,
That's a living hell.
They were awesome. They were the shit, man. Moonshiners and all that, yeah.
But I'm saying, having to talk to people with dementia for 20 years, yeah.
No, she was in dementia for a good...
My parents died, and now I don't have to talk to my brother anymore. Like, I have no family at all. I love it. I have no obligations.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, they're family. Yeah, you don't choose family. I choose, my friends are fucking great.
Yeah, right.
Family, you have to.
She was the one I could hang with anytime. She was the first family member I knew had my back.
Her aside from the fact that she was family.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I would have hung out with that old lady anytime. She was the shit. But so yeah, they send me the signed deal, and I get there, and my lawyer's not there. It's like down to the minute. I have to check in. Lawyer's not there. I'm shitting the bricks. And here he comes, and I haven't met the guy yet. And this guy I could see is my hero. I mean, he looks like he's like walking tall.
He's got it over there.
He's like cowboy hat. He's the Texas lawyer you would imagine. Cowboy hat, bolo tie. Don't worry, we got this. Okay. I walk in, and they immediately send me over to that box where you're not going to leave. And I'm like,
wait, hang on. I'm picturing the Russian box.
No, in court,
where they have a cage in the court.
Yeah, well, yeah. It might as well have been to me. There might as well have been razor wire and all that. But there's that area that if you go and you check in and you're not going to leave the courtroom that day, you're not going home, you go sit over here. Well, they sent me to sit over there, and I'm like, no, but I'm not supposed to. And the bailiff's like, calm down. We're not going to arrest you. I don't want to arrest you. Just a formality. This is already worked out. And, they already knew. It's already worked out. Okay. And I'm sitting there and you see my dad's back there like, fuck, what did I do? Because, yeah. And no, it was cut and dry. They were like, yeah, okay, we agree to this, we agree to this, we agree to this. And I was supposed to agree to losing. And now suddenly there's a check for a charge for a hot check, which I'm like, I closed that account a year before I left. There was a check that sent into the drawer in Kroger and it ran out that was no good anymore, but they cashed it and then sent a warrant after me for that. And I'm like, no, but that's like, don't rock the boat. Just, you're getting off light. You're going to pay a couple $100 and you're done. You just go with it. Okay. And then they bring up we're going to revoke your license. I'm like, well, hot shit, that thing will last 7 years ago, So now what I've got to do, now I'd already checked, to get a driver's license in Arkansas, if my license had lapsed, I'd called early. All right, how do I get one? Let's say my license lapsed, I haven't had one in 7 years. And they said, well, you need an ID. And I said, well, I have one. Well, it has to be a current ID. Well, what about my driver's license? Well, is it expired? I'm like, yeah. Well, that's no good. I'm like, it's still me. I'm still me.
Yeah, see, he's getting me off topic again.
So they said what actually would work better, what works in Arkansas as valid ID is a Sam's card.
Just remind me, Chaley. I told you to remind me of something else I already forgot, but my driver's license story from California after we're done with this. Go ahead.
So, all right, but if you have a Sam's card, that's a valid ID in Arkansas.
Good.
It's as good as a military ID. No, I don't have a Sam's card. I've been living in a wigwam, So, okay, well, you have to take driver's ed with the high school students. And go and
your
what?
belly
and go 2 years on a learner's permit.
If your belly's spilling over your belt, that's ID. Well, I'm thin. I've been living on a commie. Oh, doesn't that seems suspicious.
So I've already. Well, what I'm going to have to do is get one in Texas real quick. Well, now they're going to revoke my driver's license. Well, fuck. Well, revoke it. It's already expired. How's that going to work? I didn't care. As soon as we got out of there, called her, said, I'm free, because we weren't married yet. We knew each other in college and then relocated each other 15 years later while I was getting married.
We've never covered when the ex left you during the...
I left her in a whirlwind about the same time that
you were still on the lam.
Yeah, but getting out of this shit... Yeah.
Okay.
And had my way out of the legal shit.
Okay.
And getting out of the other
You used that as now we can part ways.
It was just all happening at the same time. Right. About the same time we relocated each other. It was like, unfortunately, you're married.
Lady, yes. Who, I don't fucking remember her name. But she's a nice lady.
The Empress Shanti. She is the Empress.
Shanti.
Yeah. So I get the fuck out of there. And we haul ass to the immediate,
Chaley. There was a Coke here.
Coke?
It's in the fridge.
We go to the immediate most podunk town to go in and for me to take my driving test with my dad here present, driving me to take my driving test as I'm in my 30s, So the little old lady is like, okay, well, the officer's not here, so you'll have to drive with me. Okay, I parallel park, I drive around the block, blah, blah. I get my little piece of paper that's written out that says it's my temporary driver's license. Good. Now they're going to mail it to my parents' house because I have to have a permanent address somewhere, not Arkansas, but Texas. They're going to mail it there. Meantime, I come back, get to come back to Arkansas with now I got a driver's license. And this is how I knew everything was just going to work out okay, because the first thing I did was I go to Walmart there in Abilene, Texas. And what I hear, I keep hearing Elvis play. And I'm like, that sounds... And I look, and there's the King right there. They have an Elvis impersonator in the Walmart in Abilene, Texas, performing just for me, just from the day I get free. And I'm like, fucking A, I bought my own razors with my own money and drove myself there and listened to Elvis sing for a while and sang a song directly to me. And yeah, that was getting out.
And now you're back here living off the grid still?
Yeah, well,
Not off the grid yet.
Yeah, as soon as I got, I had already left my ex. I was living in Eureka Springs before I got everything clear. And, we had located each other recording, and we're like, we are done with the dating thing. We knew back when we first knew each other that, the only person that made sense. And we're like, yeah, well, fuck, we're not done. We're done looking. Yeah, let's hook up. Yeah, we're good. We hadn't even seen each other in 15 years. And we, first time we do, as soon as I get my shit clear, we see each other and it's all good, and yeah, we haven't argued since.
You emailed me. I don't know how much I set this up at the beginning, but you emailed me with have this story about being on the lam for years, which I'm a sucker for. Even when people are like seriously guilty, but they break out of prison because the prison system, the jail system, the justice system is so fucked. Jail is not, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So even when people are guilty of horrible shit, if they break out of prison, I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
That's how fucked up your system is.
Right.
He fucked and killed a baby in front of a bunch of people, but he got out of jail because jail is not. Kill that
it doesn't
guy.
work. No, it makes
I'm
everything
for
worse,
kill
yeah.
that guy, but don't. Jail just creates worse criminals.
Right.
So when you emailed me, I said, listen, and I thought there's no way I'm going to be in any mood after a show to do this or before a show to do this, and I'm glad that we did this.
Oh yeah,
because this
fucking
is a fucking fun story, and yeah, I would disappear for as long as I could before I went to jail, and if like I would kill myself before a root canal or just a strip search at this point. As I accomplished everything I need to do in life, and now I'm just trying to have fun. And if that gets unfun, I'd kill myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're that age.
Well, and I just knew that, and it wasn't an option of will I survive. I just know myself well enough because it's only going to take, I would fuck up so bad. I would be in there longer. I would, because the minute somebody's, told me you're going to do this right now, it's more than likely going to go fuck yourself, and that's,
I wrote,
thou shalt unto me, you're my enemy.
I used to write songs, and I wrote this little ditty called I fight authority, authority always wins. So I know what you're saying. I think someone stole that from me. Anyway, everything about it's just cruel. And I'm going to shut up. I let this guy tell his story. Now I'm drunker than I was when I started. I'm going to try to wrap it up in a nice little package. But no, you already did, Shane. And I'm really glad that we fucking took the time to do this.
Oh, I fucking appreciate it. People keep saying, "Oh, you gotta write a book." I'm like, I've started that. How many times? And the computer dies, and I lose it. Hard drive dies, and it's fuck.
Oh
I don't back shit up. I have a steam powered computer. I have a steam powered PC.
You have
I'm
to
running
pedal
XP.
while you type.
Yeah.
Dude, like the Flintstones.
Oh, that's for the internet. That's for the modem. The PC is steam powered.
Are you still doing a podcast?
It's kind of there was the Fright Time Funhouse radio sideshow, which I'd like to bring back. It's like old style radio horror
Plug
show.
anything you like.
Well, you can go to hear some episodes of the Church of the Hopeful Agnostic at the Facebook page, Church of Facebook at Hopeful. Facebook.com/Church of Hopeful Agnostic. I plan on getting back on that one eventually. And that's, we talk about, and also the Etsy page, Ozark Hoodoo and Curios, which does some shit will be coming to 212 Van Dyke Street very soon.
Bisbee, Arizona, 85603. That's my address. Send us a bunch of shit.
And I've been meaning to do that. I was going to bring a lot of shit for you. But
What's your P.O. box on a rural route fucking 2, box 7?
I'll write it down for you.
No, I was telling
Third
you.
Hill over, Third Cattle Guard past Booger Holler.
Take her right at the beer barrel. Fucking
Big tree.
burned.
Leave it down at that big tree. The big tree? Yeah.
Notch in it.
Hanged Negro still there. They made it a historical site after Rosa Parks.
Well, I lived on one interesting in Booger County, Madison County, they have all of these other, I was looking at a map one day, and we lived on Penitentiary Hill the entire time I was on the Lam, and Penitentiary Mountain, and the next mountain over is Negro Mountain. And I'm like, why would they name it that? Somebody said, well, that's not what it was called back in the day, but when they started to make the maps, they went, well, we got Penitentiary, we got we can't call it that no more, can we? So it became Negro Mountain. And I mean, I absolutely love this place. I mean, I would, when I did get out and I got free and was living in Eureka Springs, working in a haunted house. Actually, the guys I worked for at the haunt took pity on me. I got to live in the haunt in the background, you know. So in the night, I would go down and make monsters for him, and then live in the haunt.
All right. You know what? That's enough because now Chaley wants in the conversation, all the shit. I wanted to let you tell your story without jumping in too much. But there's a bunch of shit you said that we want to talk to you about off the mic. Just the listeners already know. Shane, thank you very much for doing this.
Oh, thank you. Oh, if I can plug one more thing that I
Go.
forgot, because I'm worst. I'm so bad at marketing. I don't market shit. I've sold maybe 3 CDs in the past 5 years. But Cottonmouth Gumbo, look me up on Facebook, Cottonmouth Gumbo, and you can hear some songs and CDs available, as well as a Jebediah Buzzard CD on that Jebediah Buzzard page. So
Good.
yeah.
All right. That's a podcast. Enjoy it, says Brody Stevens. I just plugged Brody Stevens. It's a podcast. Hey, do you want to play? Oh, wait. You have songs?
Yeah, I'll get them to you.
Well,
Yeah,
then we're
we'll
going
make
to
that
close on is there a name of the
we will
band or is it
close-
just
yeah,
you?
Cottonmouth Gumbo, my one-man band. This is the song written by my friend Peter Swinburne. This is called Debbie Hahn's Cocaine Train of Thought.
Get it.
Beautiful. Oh, fucking A, man. Fucking A.
That is not just an evergreen. That's you don't even have to edit that. There's nothing. You said nothing that you have to take out.
No, not at all. Not
Yeah,
at all.
that-
Not at all. That sheriff's dead.
This is an
And
evergreen.
I love how you don't
meaning-
care that your ex-wife might potentially hear you call her.
I don't care.
I love that. Sorry, my bad.
This is one. It might not come out for a month
Yeah.
because we have
Oh,
to
yeah.
do shit in the
I
moment.
follow I follow your shit, yeah.
You are listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
Debbie Hahn's cocaine train of thought. Corn baby glass tits, warming and cooling. Painting her head colors. Fat men in purple sashes, twirling on pointed toes or sharpened feet. Arabesque headwear. And Mr. Hamamoto's bread thresher engine. Lend me your ears that I might flatten them underfoot. Chewed by gravel. Chewing gravel, I mount her on a staircase. Drink her, she is full of grotesque butterflies. Insects are up 20%. 30 in square-headed men. Bring back the mutton-chop presidents. Spectacles on the bare, pulled-back faces of dry women. Debbie Hahn's cocaine train of thought. A Sandra Oh type, but shorter and fuller face. This is Wanda, my cunt niece. Bring me my pencils, cunt niece.
Oh, yes, dear friends. Well, that was the second half of my crazy adventure. I'm glad it happened because it pulled me the hell out of Texas. Otherwise, I might have just sit there and festered like another boil on the buttocks of the nation. And because Texas is just the butt end of the nation. just sitting right down there in that toilet known as the, with just cheeks dipped down in the toilet known as the Gulf of Mexico. Have you ever swam down there? Have you ever been to the Gulf of Mexico? You go to any other ocean around the country, and it's blue water. You go to Jamaica, it's this crystal clear blue water. You go to the Gulf of Mexico, and it's brown. It looks like ocean waves of sewage, and it is. There is a good deal of it in there. There's a great deal of tar balls. You can buy stuff to remove tar off of you right next to the suntan lotion. And sometimes you pull in fish, and they have tar on them. For a while, there was medical waste. And Lord have mercy, are there more Portuguese man-o'-war? That's the only thing out there in that water is the unpleasant shit. I mean, used to, there was good fishing. You know, you could catch just off the docks. You could catch flounder and sand trout and crabs and all that. Now they have tumors and oil and tar all over them. And yeah, so yeah, Texas is the buttocks of the nation, dipping right down there in that toilet water known as the Gulf of Mexico. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that Swapcast bit with Doug Stanhope there. That was quite fun to do it, you know, and at the we hung out a little longer and shot the shit, and he's always mentioning in Bisbee, Arizona, the Shady Dell, which I have a fascination with. I'd like to visit someday. I have sort of a fetish about Airstream trailers, and this is a vintage trailer park, bed and breakfast sort of thing. And even have a landlocked yacht. You can stay on that. But everything's vintage, no children allowed. It's like the old wooden turntable cabinets, those groovy things. That was furniture back when your stereo was furniture. You know, it also had pictures of the dead war vets or something on there, somebody's wedding picture up on the sides of it. But the middle of it opened up, and you had a turntable and a radio, and if you were really lucky, you had a 8-track. But that thing boomed, man. It sounded great. It just sat on the floor. If you had like an old hardwood floor, or even the old style, you know, floor joist, that thing just sort of, ooh, yeah. Elvis sounded so good on those things. And the speakers were covered with some sort of like the kind of shit you'd see on a Barcalounger recliner. You know, that sort of tweed shit. Man, that's when stereos were fucking stereos, man. That was an investment. It was part of your living room, you know. It was the furniture. It was just but yeah, they've got those. Back to this point there. And always wanted to stay there, so I mentioned to Doug, hey, you know, he always mentions on his podcast, if you're staying at the Shady Dell, it's one of his sponsors, you know, give me a call, and maybe I'll come have a beer with you, and we'll burn a steak or two. Told him, yeah, you know, give you a holler if we're in Bisbee at the Shady Dell. And he said, oh, fuck staying there, you know, he come stay with us. So I was like, well, cool, swell guy. So yeah, check out his podcast, check out his pages and all that. He's got and check some of his stuff out. You can get his live CDs. He's got upcoming or now available on Amazon and shit like that. I think we got some of the graphics up there about that. No Place Like Home, fucking hilarious special. And check out the book, Digging Up Mother. I got a copy of that. And great toilet read, man. I leave that, you know, it's a good to have a toilet read right on the back of the toilet where you, you know, get little blurbs of it, because it's one of those books you don't want to end. So, you know, you don't want it to end. That's what I did with the last Gunslinger, you know, Dark Tower book from Stephen King. I just didn't want it to end, so I drug that thing out, you know. It was just like 10, 15-minute intervals, you know. Cut down on fiber so you could have a little bit more time in the morning with it, you know, make that book last. That's what I've done with Digging Up Mother, and I'm just about down to the last few more movements. And yeah, you know, that's the way I read the Illuminatus trilogy. You know, I read the entire Illuminatus trilogy on the toilet, not in one setting, of course, but as I described. I'm gonna throw a little more Christmas music at you, non-Christmas music, at the end here. This H.P. Lovecraft stuff. Love that stuff. I'd love to get a group together in black robes and all wearing the Elder sign, go down to the square while, you know, we got happy carolers and things like that and out there and look to the sky way up on high. You know, just, yeah, some of those would be fun. But yeah, my beef with Christmas, it's just that, man, it's everybody expects me to jump through hoops for their tradition. And it just, I couldn't give a frog's fat ass about it, you know. it always kind of weirded me out. It always perplexed me that people have to wait until a certain time of year to try to exercise being nice to each other. But, I'm all about, getting together with family, things like that. But just I'm just not about pain in the ass and having to spend money on shit I wouldn't normally spend money on when I don't have the money to spend. That's my beef. Some of y'all really love Christmas. I don't. That's all. But here's some non-Christmas music from the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. And tune in next time, folks. The Church of the Hopeful Agnostic podcast. Please check out the Facebook page. Click like on there and go to Cottonmouth Gumbo. You heard that song at the end of the podcast there they were nice enough to play. That is off of the CD Phantom Radio. And you can click the button right there on the Facebook page, the call to action button, to go out there and grab yourself a copy of that. All original music, all performed by me. There's a couple of tracks friends set in on from an old recording, all mixed by yours truly. Has kind of a concept-y theme of, like driving through, somewhere late at night with an AM radio on, that fading in and out of, you get a little this, a little bit of that. Sometimes it's weird, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's what the fuck. I mean, I didn't intentionally do anything, shitty. It may have just, that may just be happenstance. Anyway, I'm shitting on my own stuff. Anyway, here's H.P. Lovecraft's Historical Society. Stick around. See you next time, folks.
Look to the sky, way up on high, there in the night, stars on a right, beyond the past, now then at last, prison walls break, old guns away, they will return, mankind will learn new kinds of fear when they are here, they will reclaim all in the rain, hopes turn to black when they come back, ignorant fools, mankind now rules where they will be, it's this against stars, broken floating by, like a children boat, a returning season of doom, scary, 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 scary solstice, very, very, very scary solstice, up from the sea, from underground, down from the sky, they're all around, they will return, mankind will learn new kinds of fear when they are here. Look to the sky, way up on high, there in the night, stars on our right, beyond the past, now then at last, prison walls break, old guns away. Madness will reign, terror and pain, woes without end, where they extend. Ignorant fools, mankind no rules, where to look them, restless against stars, badly floating high, and churning road, a returning season of doom. Scary, 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 scary solstice, very, very, very scary solstice, up from the sea, from the ground, all the stars, they're all around.
Stars now are right.
They will return.
I'll be so blue, thinking what you'll do. Sacrifices of red on the blue open sea won't mean a thing until you're here with me, until you're blue. Nightmares awake me, and all my blue angels forsake me. You'll be down in your tomb in cyclopean gloom, and I'll have a blue, 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 blue solstice. Okay, Cthulhu, baby, come up out of that tomb. I can't stop thinking about your huge, flabby claws, them little wings of yours, that grotesque, scaly body, and them big old tentacles wrapped around me. Oh, darling, I can't go on without you. You'll be down in your tomb